our featured pair 9 and 10. We had a bit of trouble on lane 10, so we're going to try to cover 7, 8, and 11 and 12. Over on 7 and 8, we have Peck versus Hawkins, Cook versus Slocum. On 11 and 12, waiting for the screen to recycle for us, we have Cortez versus Patton and Rhodes versus Manini. So both matches are in the second frame. Bowlers that lose in this round are eliminated from the tournament. On 7 and 8, we have Peck with a open frame at first frame, striking the second frame, and his opponent opened in the first frame and just opened on a washout in the second frame. So presently we have Peck leading Hawkins. We have Cook open in the first frame, Mark in the second frame, and Slocum strike in the first frame and is preparing to shoot his second frame on lane 8.
Zach is up on lane 11 against Brian Manini. Brian's got clean through 2 frames. And I'm sure that Zach is hoping for a double.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
Dreaded 7-10 split.
He threw that ball off the corner, and it looked so good from my angle. And that ball was quick off the break point and still left the 7-10.
Stephen Slocum picked up his 10 pin, so he's clean after 2. And Caden had an open frame, so he has a disadvantage there.
We're still early in these matches. Anything is possible here. Certainly this very challenging pattern, what we've seen is so many times a lot of these really good players have missed a single pin spare or what would otherwise be a pretty easy makeable spare. And
Woody Hawkins picked up his...
Whoa, Zach bounced that 7 pin. It came out of the pit, up on the deck, and rolled over in front of the 10 pin.
Oh my goodness, that's exciting news. As I was saying... Oh, thank you. Woody Hawkins got his first strike, so he's finally on the clean side of a frame.
And there's that 2 on lane 8 from Mr. Peck. We've seen a lot of right-handed bowlers in this tournament today and all day yesterday. They make a relatively good shot to get the ball rolling just a little too forward, and it just does not seem to finish. Comes in a little behind the pocket, and they leave that 2 pin, and they're fortunate not to leave a 2-10 because we've certainly seen more than a bowler's fair share of 2-10s and 2-8-10s here during this tournament.
Monty, we have 8 bowlers left in the winner's bracket. You're going to have to help me a little bit on the writing. I have Daryl Kaiser, who's sitting to my left in the winner's pen versus Jim Lewis. He was the one who was on here a few minutes ago, all excited after winning his second match. Ryan Burks is in the winner's bracket against P. Casper, I do believe. Now Monty's going to have to help me, but he's listened to Ryan now get us all together. Brian Powers against B. Cruz, and we have T. Peeps versus, I do believe that's Rick Gebauer. Yep, I believe that's Rick Gebauer. So 8 people left, and we'll be down to 8 after this set in the loser's bracket.
Well, what we're going on here, we're trying to get some cameras adjusted. So we're early in these matches. Right now, our camera's focused on lanes 11 and 12. And when the matches get more interesting later on, we'll try and focus on matches that appear to be in contention. Right now on 11 and 12, and Victor Cortez has 46 in the 3rd frame versus Riley Patton, who has 32 plus count on this shot. Let's see what Riley can do.
Oh, that looked
back.
nice.
Boy, beautiful shot. Looks like he's throwing a purple hammer over there. So that gives him, once the score is visible, that gives him 42 in the 3rd, but Victor's on an open, and he still has a 4-pin lead. And a strike for Mr. Cortez. So right now we have a pretty even match going on between Patton and Cortez. Brian Manini, I'm not sure what he left. The score indicates a split in the first frame and a conversion, and then a double in the third frame, and Brian's bowling his fourth frame shot.
Over on 7
Oh,
and
boy.
8.
Got away from him, got left. He left a
Oh.
1-3-9. So a little tricky conversion. But Zach has the opportunity to put a double on Mr. Manini right here and change this match.
Over on 7 and 8, Woody Hawkins was looking for his second spare, and he totally whiffed a 10-pin. So Peck has 48 with working a spare, and Hawkins has 45. That strike really helped him, but he has that open frame.
Zach Rhodes on lane 11 executed an excellent shot once again. He had a lot of entry angle, and the 4-pin was standing, and then the 4-pin mixed out, leaves him just a 10-pin. Mr. Manini missed that spare opportunity on lane number 12 and has 73 in the fourth frame.
Steven Slocum on 7 and 8 just threw a washout. 6 count stings a little bit on his strike. We'll see if he can pick it up. A washout is not impossible. And Caden Cook, a little slow start because he had an open in the first frame, but he's got a 9 count. I'm sure he'll pick this up.
And Zach fires a shot at the 10-pin, and that's the second time in as many shots on lane 11 as he's brought a pin out of the pit back up onto the deck, and this time it got in front of the sweep and is in the right-hand channel.
And Steven Slocum had no problem putting down that washout. So right now I would say he's got the advantage because he's clean through 4. Caden did come off with 3 marks after that open frame, so we have right now a 60-48 match, both of them working spares.
Well, it looks like all of our matches here are contested at this point and starting the 5th frame.
Hawkins is trying to take advantage of the best line of the house. It's not working with him. He left a 5-9.
Well,
But
look at Mr. Peck.
Yes, he did. Look at that. Let's see what he does here with the spare.
It's not looking good.
Oh my goodness, spares are. You know who used to say that in Barrow? That saying about spares are scoring
That would
opportunities.
have been the late, great Billy Whaley.
Exactly, but Matt Cannizzaro would borrow it.
Yes, he would, when he used to do those broadcasts with the USBC.
Yes, he did.
And he used to mention and speak of the colorful graph that was available to assist the bowler in how to play the lane.
He did. He was quite entertaining.
Very much so.
All right, Caden just blew up the pin deck and left nothing. And he liked it. So that's a strike for Caden Cook in the 5th frame.
Well, I missed that one. I was over here watching Riley Patton. He threw the shot. It didn't look too bad off his hand, but it really checked up on him, and he left a 3-6-10.
Oh, no, but Steven Slocum left the 1-3-6-9. He just looked like, oh, my.
And Zach Rhodes on lane 12. Well, there you go, Zach. Best line in the house. He threw that Brooklyn and carried it. He had 2 really good shots on lane 11, neither of which resulted in strikes. So Zach setting himself up now. He's been in the pocket on lane 11. He just hasn't had the fortune of getting all 10 pins to fall over.
Steven Slocum did not carry that or pick up his mess that he left, but Woody did strike Woody Hawkins, so he's got his second mark in the frame in the game through 6 frames. Both of them are strikes.
When I look at Zach Rhodes' frame-by-frame scoring, he's bowled 3 shots on lane 12. All 3 shots are strikes. He had a 7-10 on lane 11, and then he had another interesting shot where he left the 4-10, and the 4 fell out. So he's definitely in the pocket. Once he figures out how to get the corner pins to fall over on lane 11, he could be real hard to beat.
Mike Peck is looking to double, and on the Brooklyn side, he did it. He's not complaining either.
On this tough shot, errant shots resulting in strikes, that's just a bonus. Riley Patton on lane 12. It's that purple hammer 10 back. Got a good look. Victor Cortez is on a double, so we got us a pretty hot match going on.
Well, when I saw those four names grouped together, I'm not surprised.
Well, I think that's what we're going to experience as the day progresses. We're going to start having the bowlers that have figured it out, the bowlers that have a lot of game, or they wouldn't be in the position that they're in. And there goes Victor Cortez with not his best shot, and he gets a strike nevertheless for a triple.
And Caden Cook just got his double and blew the pins off the racket again.
Well, I'm not surprised. Is he over or under 20 miles an hour?
Indeed.
Caden can really bring it.
I feel like we have a horse race going on here.
Well,
right
we do.
now.
I think we do. We certainly have horses in the race over here. All right, let's see what Zach Rhodes can do on lane 11.
Well, high on the head pin, and pretty much Brooklyn. Woody Hawkins got another strike, so he has a double and 54 points.
Zach Rhodes with another well-executed shot on lane 11. The ball looked like it just came in a little slow, and he rung the 10 pin, but the ball was deflecting a lot on that shot. I'm sure Zach paid attention to that, and I'm sure he'll make an adjustment off of it. But so far in 6 frames, Zach Rhodes has thrown 6 excellent shots. He does not have a double, and he's working here to pick up his 10 pin.
I think Mike Peck started this ball that left him the 1-2-4-7 a little bit on the left and sent it out too far, and it just did not come back. He was hoping for a turkey, but on the other hand, Stephen Slocum got himself a nice strike.
And Zach Rhodes puts that 10 straight back. So Manini through 6 frames, 101 with an open. Through 6 frames, Zach Rhodes has 98 plus count. So we're going to assume Zach's going to have like a 6 or 7 pin lead after his next shot. Victor Cortez just threw a strike, so he had a double and a good break, and he put a good strike on it. Now he's got 4 in a row, and he's in command of the match against Riley Patton.
Well, Mike Peck just left the 7 pin on his 1-2-4-7, but it seems like he has a good lead on Hawkins, but Hawkins is working a double, so let's see what happens. Caden left the 3-6-9. Oops, sorry, 3-6-10. I misread that one. And this match is pretty close.
Well, looks like our technical crew has refocused on lanes 7 and 8. Caden's getting ready to shoot his 3-6-10, and he did not convert it.
This is going to be interesting.
Meanwhile, out of view over on lane 12 is Zach Rhodes in the 7th frame. Well, that shot, couldn't really see where it went into the rack, but he left a 6 pin, so he either had to be a little on the Brooklyn side or through the head pin. But nevertheless, he left a 9 count. Gives him 107 total through 6 frames and a 5-pin lead over Brian Manini. Riley Patton's left a difficult 2-8, and he needs to convert it. And he does.
All right, Woody Hawkins is up, and he surely wants to stretch this double out into a triple because Mike Peck just left a 4 count on the deck, and Woody is trying to catch up.
Zach Rhodes covers that 6-pin spare on lane 12. Brian Manini's getting ready to step up here in his 7th frame on lane 11. Out of camera view.
I didn't like it. Let's see. Woody left a 4-pin. Check out this score.
Oh, Brian. Helicopter on the deck, but it didn't help him out. He has washout. 1, 2, 4, 10. Difficult conversion. Zach's not carrying, but Zach's just filling frames. And Brian's in a little bit of trouble right here. Riley Patton on lane 12. Got it out,
goodness.
and he got it back for a strike.
Mike Peck.
Oh, Brian threw a pretty good-looking backup shot at that washout, but he chopped out the 4 and a 7 for an open frame.
We're going to have to check out these scores now because Woody is up. He's getting his, and he missed. So Peck has got
130 through 8. Mr. Hawkins, we can't see his score yet.
It will come up.
There it is.
And it is. Woody has 111 through 8. So that is a 19-pin advantage, both having opens in their previous frames.
And Cook versus Slocum appears to be a 1-pin match. Back over to 11 and 12. Looks like Zach Rhodes is certainly in command of the match. Anything can happen. Cortez just split, so about 10-pin difference. But after this shot, wow, he almost bounced out some pins for the conversion. But Patton, I think, has about a 10-pin lead.
Steven Slocum just struck, even though Caden is now also with a spare. But it's a tie match in 7th, I believe. We have ourselves a nail biter. Oh, not quite tied, but we still have ourselves a nail biter.
Well,
Slocum's got that double.
Token has that double, and he's going to get count on it.
Exactly.
But what we've seen here, unfortunately, out of some of the bowlers, if you make a little miss right or you get it going a little too forward, you could clip off 3 pins off the right-hand side of this rack. So everything is still up for grabs here.
And there you go. Look at that. We have our stuff, a strike by Woody Hawkins in the meaningful frame.
Well, I think that Mr. Rhodes made a little adjustment on lane 11, and he leaves the 2-pin. So it's just tough. I mean, there's nothing easy about this. When bowlers of this caliber are having struggles, it's not because they're necessarily bowling poorly. It's just because the condition is so difficult that anything, inconsistency in your delivery results in a big difference down by the pins.
And Woody Hawkins is getting some help because Mike Peck just left a 4, 6, 7. And his meaningful frame will not be as meaningful as he had hoped.
That 9th frame oftentimes can be very meaningful.
All right, you took his good count, and he's living with it.
Well, Zach put down the spare.
Oh, good. Let's see what happens.
He's not going to shoot
next.
a big game here. He had that 7-10 split in the 2nd frame, and everything else is strike or 9 count.
Yeah. He's got some pins.
Has 119 plus count in the 8th frame, and Zach has 136 plus count. So we're dealing with about 20-pin advantage.
And Steven Slocum set up his 9th frame for the 10th, and he's in good shape so far. Let's see what Caden does. That's a 3-pin. He needs to make it.
Well, if Brian Benini can find a way to put some strikes up, Zach's had nothing but trouble on lane 11, and he's going to have to shoot his 10th frame on lane 11. So
Riley, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Riley Patton must have really liked that shot because he was practically squatting down on his knees. That double is looking nice for him. All right, Caden got his 3-pin, so Cook versus Slocum, we will find out who is a 10-pin match.
Well, Brian Benini carried the Brooklyn Revolution Special for a strike.
All right, Mike Peck has got 139 in the 9th frame. Woody has battled his way back, and we are going, if he strikes, it won't be quite as neck and neck.
Yeah, strike right here would be really big.
Exactly.
For Zach Rhodes.
And also for Woody.
There it is.
In the Brooklyn side, best line of the house.
Boy, Zach got a handful on that one. I think it just went a little long on him, and he left. You got it, the 2-pin on lane 12.
So
Seems every time a right-handed bowler gets just a little more lifting the ball, and the ball gets to rolling just a little bit forward, it's almost a guaranteed 2 pins. Like the ball just will not tip over unless it's got a little side rotation on it. And if you increase the rotation a little bit, then all of a sudden you're looking at the ball crossing over on the Brooklyn side.
Well, if he misses this pin, which I doubt, things will be becoming interesting.
I suspect he will put it down.
All right, Woody is up on lane 8. He's working a double. I think he executed that shot a little bit better, but oh my. 6-7 split.
All right, Mr. Rhodes covered that single pin in the 9th frame. He had the 7-10 in the second. Otherwise, he's clean. He has 129 through 8 in the 9th frame. He has that strike, so he has 139. So just depending on what kind of little run he can get in the 10th frame, that'll determine his score. Victor Cortez just went through the face, leaving a 3-6. First shot in the 10th for him. I'm trying to.
Hawkins took his count. And that leaves Mike Peck.
Max score 199 for Victor Cortez.
The outcome of this game are in Mike Peck's hands. He needs this mark.
Riley Patton just struck first shot in the 10th for a triple. Looks like he's going to put his match away.
He's got to pick it up.
Like he threw a pretty good shot there. It may have been a touch inside, but that ball just really started to read a little sooner, I think, than what he hoped.
Yeah, if he picks this up, he needs to strike, and he'll win by a pin.
Victor Cortez is making it interesting, but he covered that 3-6. It looked to me like he just got the ball laid the ball down a little left of where he wanted to, and it just didn't quite skid, and he made that 3-6 on the outside. All right, so max 199 for Cortez. What I can see.
All right. Mike Peck got his pin, or his spare, and he needs to strike to beat Woody Hawkins by 1 pin.
Really can't see the scoreboard for Riley Patton, but I'm confident just based on what I could see that he has the match well at hand. It could actually be over. I just can't see his final score.
He'll have 201, I believe.
Looks like he has 200 right now, so he is a winner. And if he converts a single pin, he'll have 201.
All right, Mike Peck needs a strike.
Oh,
my goodness, indeed. He got it to fall out.
He even took his hat off on that shot.
He did. Congratulations to Mike Peck and Woody Hawkins, too, for bowling a great match. It was a nail-biter all the way. Woody did really well. Okay, Stephen Slocum has, good job. Let's see.
All right, so our final, Riley Patton 201, Victor Cortez 198, and up now bowling the 10th frame.
Caden. Go ahead. Caden needs a strike.
Zach on the troublesome lane 11. And there's a 10 pin, but if he makes it, he should easily win this match. Brian Benini has a max score of 189.
Caden doing Caden things. 5-pin was standing. He got himself a messenger. Brooklyn side of the house.
Well, it was very interesting. Just the way that the scoreboard works. Brian had a max of 189, and he did not throw a strike on his first shot, so his max now is going to be 169, and Mr. Rhodes has 173, and he's not done. So
And
Zach Rhodes defeats Brian Benini.
And Caden needs a strike.
And Zach Rhodes bounces another pin out of the pit on lane 11.
Oh, and Caden gets a 9 count.
Well, looks like he made a pretty good shot. Looks like he was inside just a little bit, but Caden throws it hard enough and it creates enough energy that he could have tripped that 4 pin out. It just didn't happen for him this time.
Steven Slocum is still alive in this tournament, and Caden has to go home.
Well, Caden had a good tournament. He's a fine young bowler. We've known Caden for a long time. He was a fine kid, and now he's a fine young man. And certainly is a rising star in this bowling community, and I'm certain that as he learns more and develops his skills, he will certainly be someone to contend with at the highest level of play.
Indeed.
Zach Rhodes is getting ready to throw his fill. Let's see if we can get our camera over there and capture his shot.
There you
There
go.
you go, and it collapses at first strike. So 184, Brian Benini shot 167, but that match was way closer than the score indicated. Brian had a couple bad breaks in that game, and Zach was unable to throw a double in that frame, in that game, and prevailed nonetheless.
So I can see that Von Erx and Peterson are still bowling. Kenny and Becoilis are bowling, but we can't see any scores from this angle. And the oiling machine has gone to work.
Well, yes, we still have one match alive, and I think they're in the 9th frame, getting ready to go into the 10th. But from our vantage, we just cannot see it. We do see Carly Kenny is up on lane 13. She delivers her shot, and
She strikes.
the Revolution's Brooklyn.
Now I see that she had a score of 138. Becoilis, I think, has 144. But with that strike, I don't know.
Well,
And he
Becoilis
struck
is
two.
10 back on that one. That looked pretty good. We can't really see it, but it certainly was in the pocket just from the reaction of the pins leaving the deck.
So I'm seeing up there, oh my gosh, Kenny has a 158 right now. And I cannot make out the middle digit of the second of Becoilis' score. We'll have to see who congratulates whom.
Well, that was a much better shot for Carly Kenny. It was a little high in the head pin, but she tripped down that 6, 7, 10, just a little high for the lefty. And Mr. Becoilis a little high for a righty, and he leaves the 4 pin. So I really don't know what the situation is, but they seem to be battling in the 10th frame. And Kenny finishes with an 8 count and leaves a helicopter on the lane. He just got swept off. Bowling seems to have concluded on 13 and 14, but the results are uncertain because we just don't have a view.
It's definitely beyond the field of our vision.
So that looks like that concludes the matches for this round. This is the 2024 Missouri Masters live from Revolution Lanes and Fun Center. Proprietors Brian and Jackie Menini. We would like to thank our sponsors, JDR Electric, C&M Trucking, Miller Tires, Storm Bowling, Brunswick Bowling, Berkey Turkey's Pro Shop. Please check out their website at btbowlingsupply.com and the Northwest Senior Missouri's Bowlers Tour. For Rhonda Brown, I'm Monty Smith, and we're going to take a little break here, and we'll come back in a little while. Hopefully we have some of our technical difficulties sorted out, and we will rejoin the action. Thank you for watching.